from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Hi, I'm Zesh Rehman, former Pahang player from 2014-2016. You listen to the Bola Bola Show.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Bola Bola Show. It's me, Sivan, and joining us today after a long time. In fact, he's been missing for a few episodes. It's none other than Bala. Hey Bala, how's it going?
Hi Sivan, yes, been busy with work since everything's opening back and then planning and all that you do. But hey, this football, man, is glad to be back again. Elvin?
Yeah, glad you're back, Bala. Good to hear your voice again. Things are also fine here, especially in my place here. It's been like raining every day. I have this huge drain in front of my house where I see the water getting higher and higher. So just keeping an eye on that, right?
It doesn't become a river.
Yeah, I hope so. Yep. So guys, today on our show we got a very special guest, and he was in fact the first British Asian player to start a Premier League match in England. You will know him from his days at Fulham, QPR and Bradford, to name a few, but fans here in Malaysia will remember him for his playing days with Pahang from 2014 to 2016. So we at the Bola Bola Show now are proud to welcome Mr. Zesh Rehman to our show. How are you doing, Zesh?
I'm very good, thank you. Great to be on here. Always good to talk to people from Malaysia. And every time I hear Pahang and Malaysia, good memories come back straight away.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah, so Zesh, perhaps you can start, what are the projects or what are you up to these days?
Yeah, right now I'm in Hong Kong playing for KC Southern District Football Club as the player head coach. So I've been here now, and this is my 5th season here. But last year, during the virus pandemic, I took over as the head coach, and this is now my 2nd season in that role, having previously worked with the academy and the development players. I'm still registered as a player. I'm very close to 500 career games, so hopefully, inshallah, that'll be at some point this season. But it's a good experience for me to take that next step already into coaching. My family are here with me in Hong Kong, kids are in school. It's a place that I played in before, so it's a good learning curve for this stage of my career.
And interesting indeed. And Zesh, since you mentioned, being a player and head coach, right? Like, how often do you come on the pitch? Like, what's like the deciding moment you tell yourself that, that's it, I'm going in?
Well, actually, last season, I started a lot of the games. I played quite a lot of the games.
All right.
But there were some times, and probably this season, my role will be maybe to help us close the game out. So if we're winning late in the game, bring on some experience. If we are needing a goal, maybe I could help there, come on and from a set piece or something like that. But also, sometimes if you're drawing the game away from home and you need to take the point, you need experience on the pitch. So there's lots of different roles you can do still as a player head coach, but it's not an easy job. I've got really good coaches around me that allow me at this stage still to do it. But my main focus is actually developing and improving the players that we've got and trying to empower them to do the job. But it's good to be in that position to still be able to affect the game from on the pitch.
Yeah, it gives you that flexibility there, right?
Yeah.
And does this mean that you will take up one bench space on the subs bench?
Yeah, because I'm still registered as a foreign player, because the way football is now, a lot of clubs have had to cut their budget due to the current economy. So we was not in that position to recruit, lots of players and new players and spend money on their apartments and flights and all of that stuff. So we decided to keep me on as a player for now, to help us until the economy recovers or till we find the right player. Because recruitment with foreign players, if you get it right, it's great. But if you get it wrong, then it can be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indeed. And as Elvin mentioned, you being the first Asian footballer to play in the Premier League or play in English football. During your 7th spell in England, which is mainly with Fulham, QPR and Bradford, you were considered a pioneer among the South Asian footballers. I mean, what was the challenge for yourself back then, and how much has it improved ever since?
Yeah, well, basically, when you're told at the age of 10 you're never going to make it as a footballer because you've got the wrong diet, you're scared of the weather, you should be playing cricket, all of these things, it becomes a huge challenge, especially when you do not have any role models to look up to. So there becomes a point where, you need to try to break the mold, if you like, and become that person that can be a role model. So it's very challenging, but then, signed the first professional contract at 17, stayed there till 27. Have things improved? Yes, there's more numbers in the academy systems, and some have come to make their debuts in the leagues, but it's still very underrepresented if you look at the bigger picture. So there's still a lot of work to do, but there's a lot of good work being done by the PFA and a lot of football clubs to try to increase those numbers.
You arrived in Malaysia in 2014 to play for Pahang, and after having successful spells with Muangthong in Thailand and Kichi in Hong Kong, how did the move came about, and what was the story behind the issue?
Well, when I was playing for Kichi in 2013, we played Kelantan in the AFC Cup. I think it was a round of 16 in Kota Baru. And that time Kelantan were, I think, the champions of Malaysia, or they won the league, or they won the Malaysia Cup, and there was basically the big boys then. And we went there and we won 2-0. I had a really good game and kept the clean sheet, and we progressed through to the quarterfinal of the AFC Cup. But from that game, I think people in Malaysia, the clubs that were looking for an Asian signing player, I came on their radar. So since that game, I had a lot of interest from Felda, from Sarawak, from Pahang. I was almost signed for Sarawak, but as soon as I met Zainul, it was an instant connection. I think he's just an absolute legend, Zainul, and the decision was an easy one to join Pahang. But the other factor that helped was I already knew Damion Stewart, who was my teammate at Queen's Park Rangers. So Damion and I played together before, and obviously he did really well. So it was an easy decision in the end to come to Malaysia, to come to Pahang especially.
And Zesh, what was your first impression when you arrived here for the first time in Malaysia?
I loved it, honestly. I watched the 2013 Malaysia Cup Final from my apartment in Hong Kong, and I was just dreaming and visualizing doing the exact same. And then before I got there, I was looking at the stadium, the fans, especially the Pahang Johor games, just hoping I could be a part of it. And then as soon as I landed in Malaysia, it was just a different feeling for me, because the majority of my time growing up in England and playing in Thailand, Hong Kong, coming to Malaysia, predominantly Muslim country, hearing the azan, finding it easy to find halal food, it just felt right, And then obviously the football stadium and the love for the game was outstanding. So it was just like the perfect move at the perfect time, actually.
And of course, that dream actually came through, because in your first season with Pahang, it was a massive success. I mean, you guys won the Cup treble, the Charity Shield, the FA Cup, and the Malaysia Cup Final.
Yeah.
I mean, what was so special about that team?
I would say the family spirit, and you have to credit Tengku Muda, Zainul, for creating that. Pahang was a massive family, right from the fans all the way through to the dressing room. Players like Razman, Hafiz, Spoying, Azamuddin, Azidan, who have I missed? Loads more, even young guys then who are playing now, as Abdul Malik, and plus all the foreign players, myself, Dixon, Damion. We just clicked. It just became a family. Everybody took an interest in each other as people first, before football, tried to help each other. Nobody pointed the fingers, and you just knew straight away that there's something special about that group.
And you did mention Coach Zainal earlier. So, what was it like playing under him?
So I know he's probably one of the best man managers I've played for, and I've played for a lot of good coaches and a lot of good man managers, but Zainal really was the catalyst for creating that atmosphere where everybody felt a part of it. There were some games in my first season, the rules for the foreign players, only 3 could play. So there's some games I didn't play, some games Matias didn't play, some games Dixon didn't play, but we never complained. And even with the local players, he had that magic way of just keeping everybody involved and happy and enjoying it and supporting whoever was playing. So, I experienced it at Kichi. We won a lot of trophies, and then to come to Pahang and be a part of it again, it just convinces me that, sometimes if you just get the right people together the magic can happen.
And I'm sure you have learned quite some bits from Zaina, which you can apply now in your career.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think I've learned something from every coach, but from Zainal, it was definitely how to create that good atmosphere amongst the players.
Interestingly, the 2014 Malaysia Cup Final remained one of the most memorable and hotly contested final in the recent time, especially when the game going swinging to one goal, another goal, and finally went up to the primary shootout. And what was your take of being involved in such an important and exciting game?
It just rounded off an outstanding season. So it's a lot of focus leading up to that game. We went to Temelo for a week to just concentrate and prepare. Then we were hungry to finish off the season with another trophy. We had a taste of it already with the first trophy, then the FA Cup, the Sultan Ahmed Shah Trophy first. Everyone just, it was like it was destiny. It was supposed to happen. We never worried when we went a goal down or we were losing, because we always believed we could come back. You know, we were known as the comeback kings. And with players like Dixon, Damion, Matias, we could always score a goal. And obviously Dixon was outstanding that game. But everyone, you know, they had their role to play. For the penalties, I think Matias came off, Dixon came off, didn't take one. You know, I ended up taking one, and other guys that were on the bench took one. So everybody knew that whatever they did, it was for the team. And then it's just a special day to celebrate with the fans. See half the stadium yellow, half red. You know, it's just something. Even in England, I don't think I played in front of a crowd as big as that.
And you know, tell us a little bit about the rivalry with JDT at that time, because I know they were just starting to set foot in terms of their dominance in Malaysian football, and Pahang was one of those teams that could really go toe to toe with them that season. Anything you'd like to share with us from that rivalry?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was a rivalry. We wanted to win. They wanted to win. We had some really good games, close games, especially the one game at Darryl McMoore. We won 1-0 in the second leg, FA Cup semi-final to reach the final. That added more spice to the Malaysia Cup final because now they wanted to win. And there was competitiveness between the foreign players. So myself, Dixon, Damion, we wanted to be better than Figueroa and Pablo Aimar and the centre-back, I forgot his name now. So there was a real competition also amongst the local guys, you know, because we had local players who were probably just as good as their players, but there was a big gap in maybe the salaries or what they were earning. So there was a lot of rivalry there. But I think it was healthy for Malaysian football. You know, the gap has become quite big now. It's not that close rivalry anymore from what I've been following, which is a shame. But JDT have taken it to another level, to be fair to them.
And among your teammates in Pahang, who would you describe as the one which is the most funniest and has that most entertaining personality in the dressing room?
Azidan Surin, 100%. He's a little bit bodo sometimes, we call him, but he's a real good person, good character, good energy. And you need that in the dressing room, especially when you lose a game. You need people that can lift the mood. And he was definitely one.
Okay. I was kind of hoping maybe your answer could be Dixon, but
okay. Dixon is Dixon. He's a legend. When he had to be serious, he could be serious. But that big smile, you know, and his enthusiasm is infectious. He wasn't so much the joker, you know, but he was always getting on with everybody, like we all did. We all got on with everyone, actually. It was really good atmosphere.
Yeah, Zesh. So, despite having played at the youth level for England, you opted to represent Pakistan at the senior level, at 25 caps and a goal, and in fact, even captaining the team. So what was your memorable moments you'd like to share with us playing for the Pak Shaheen, or also known as the Pure Falcons?
Yeah, well, captaining in your country, doesn't matter what level, what country, is always a huge honor. So I remember the first game as captain, we played Chinese Taipei, or Taiwan now. We won 1-0 and I scored the winning goal just before I moved to Malaysia, actually, so it was good timing. So that was a good experience. And then just being fortunate enough to go and play in different countries around Asia, Southeast Asia especially, but also in Palestine, in Syria at the time, playing against Iraq, who were Asian champions, to draw 0-0. So a lot of good experiences of traveling around. It wasn't the strongest national team in South Asia, but nevertheless, it's still international experience and exposure. And, some stadiums, and we played in Nepal, Bangladesh, 25, 30,000 full. And it's an eye-opener into football, into the region.
All right. Okay. Looking at Pakistan, I think known for cricket and field hockey, I think one of their number one sports, and especially the region. And talking about Pakistan, in your view, what needs to be done in order to improve the game in Pakistan in football? Is it the grassroots level, or is it the league itself, or is it an overhaul? We have to remove the system.
Probably all of it. The infrastructure, grassroots level, academy systems, the local league. There's no foreign players in the league, so that makes a big difference to the overall standard. So a lot of those reasons. So obviously, there are a little bit of issues as well now with the federation, which we can't go into too much detail, but that doesn't help that the players don't get enough international exposure. So there's a lot of issues that need to be sorted out for Pakistan to improve, the football, because the population is there, the love for football is there, but the infrastructure is not quite right.
But Pakistanis are really, are they really passionate? Especially when they play like rivalry, like example Bangladesh or India. How the game, the stadium, is it packed? I don't know how many, 40,000, 20,000?
Yeah, it was packed. My first game in Karachi in 2005, it was 25, 30,000 packed. And the rivalry, especially with India, is massive. Not so much Bangladesh and Nepal, but whenever those games come up, the rivalry is really, really big. Probably Malaysia, Thailand, similar kind of rivalry in the Suzuki Cup.
So the passion is there. So one thing I think it require is the structure of the football in Pakistan.
Yeah, and then also the development of the local coaches. So, I'm not sure if they need to go out into Europe and get qualified and get more experience and then come back and develop the local players that way. So there's a lot of factors.
How about if we may share, if it's any side of the women football, is developing there or still backward water?
Yeah, that's improved a little bit. Like I said, the passion is there for all the women and men football. Cricket is obvious and hockey is good, but for some reason the football hasn't really taken off. There's Pakistan players playing in leagues around the world, so it could have quite a strong national team, but is not enough games, not enough exposure for the team to really shine.
And as you mentioned, there's many foreign-born players with Pakistani background who are eligible to play for the Pakistan national team. Is it a challenge in terms of logistics trying to get these players to be able to come on time and play together for the national team?
No, recently, 2 years ago, we played in Cambodia for a World Cup qualifier game, and then we went to play the second leg game in Qatar. Or we had a training camp in Bahrain before that. So it's possible for everybody to link up. We did, and we unfortunately lost to Cambodia, but the fact that we managed to get the guys from around the world to come and play shows that, if it's done properly, there could be a strong team there. It's something which can help the national team. Everyone has their own strategy. I know in Malaysia now they're naturalizing foreign players, something they do in Dubai and Emirate, Qatar, and Hong Kong are also doing the same. And other countries look to bring in the guys playing overseas. So there's different ways to try to do it. There's no right or wrong way, just whatever works.
Okay. All right, Zesh. So our last segment is basically going to be just a fun one, whereby we'll just ask you very straightforward questions, and we just want you to answer perhaps the first 5 seconds, whatever comes to your mind. So are you ready for that?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So, Bala, kick it off.
All right, Jeng. All right. What's your favorite food, Zesh?
Favorite food? Or my mom's rice and biryani.
Okay.
That's the safest answer.
What biryani? Is it chicken, mutton, lamb?
So I just got. Can you say that again? I got cut off a little bit there. Sorry.
I mean, is it a chicken biryani or mutton biryani?
Chicken biryani, but not too spicy because I'm not the best. But then my mom cooks it. She can only make spicy, so I've got the cold water and milk and everything ready to cool down a little bit.
Okay. All right. Next up, favorite holiday destination.
Favorite holiday destination? It used to be Dubai. It used to be Dubai, but since I've left Malaysia, I'm looking back and I really actually miss Kuala Lumpur and Kuantan. So it's up there, Malaysia up there, alongside Dubai.
Yeah, that's nice. But Zesh, what about your favorite drink? Any beverage that you really like?
Yeah, my favorite drink is ginger beer. Ginger beer. My dad started drinking it many, many years ago, and then we tried it when we were kids because we wanted to try it because we thought it was real beer, but obviously it's ginger beer. But it's something that just stuck with us. And even yesterday I had some actually.
Okay.
Nice.
How about to the TV? Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Oh, Home Alone. Home Alone.
Oh.
Okay. Good
It's
choice.
just
Definitely a
one
good
of
choice.
those ones in England in the winter, Christmas time. It's always on.
Yeah, and you just play it every Christmas, right?
Yeah, so there was 6 kids in our house growing up. We used to watch it all the time.
Okay.
Okay, then and finally, what about your favorite artist?
My favorite artist.
Yeah.
Ooh, I used to like Eminem actually.
Okay.
When I was playing at Fulham, I used to listen to some of his motivational music before my games actually to get myself ready for games.
Okay, you really be pumped up, I'm sure.
Yeah, sometimes it worked for me back then. Not anymore.
Okay, fair enough. So
right.
any last words from yourself, Zesh, especially to Pahang fans who will be listening to this podcast?
Yeah, well, Pahang fans I still think are the best fans in Malaysia, better than Johor, obviously.
Wow, okay.
I think, if it's written in my destiny, I'd love to come back someday to Pahang in some capacity and try to give something back to the team, the state of Pahang, and and just try to share my experiences to help the club in whatever way I can.
Nice. Okay. So guys, any last words?
I just want to thank Zesh a lot, for jumping on board our podcast today, having you here. It's great, and it's really sharing what you've been going through in your career. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Zesh. Yeah,
no problem whatsoever. Anytime.
Yeah, thanks, Zesh. But I would just like to ask you one question before we finalize. Basically, I think you have been known for being ambassador for Kick It Out and the Show Resistance Red Card campaign, right? And
yeah.
Basically, you did this effort to help the British Asian players which pursue their career in Britain. What do you take on that? Is it improving from where we?
Yeah, I mean, my outlook on it is whatever I do or whatever I support is for everybody. So it's never for just one particular set of people. And I know my background is British Asian, but I always believe, I try to inspire everybody to get involved in the game. There's underrepresentation across the board, not just British Asian players, but also black coaches, people in the boardrooms. So it's a much wider issue than just the British Asian. But what I can do is obviously help people associate with me and try to follow in the journey and inspire them. And I'm mentoring a lot of British Asian kids and their parents now, just to educate them on the challenges that they're going to face. But it's always for everybody. I'm trying to not segregate it just to the British Asians.
So I think is this true that you actually supported Michael Chopra were now selected ahead of Davy Nugent?
Yeah, I think many years ago I made a statement, a comment, and at that time, when you're a bit younger, you make comments and statements like that.
But I really appreciate your professionalism, whereby it's Indian and you forgo all this rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter where you're from. I know there's always rivalries, but sometimes if you feel something's not right and you have a voice, then you can speak up.
Indeed. And any last word from yourself, Zesh?
No, like I said, I'd love to be back in Malaysia at some point and come and see you guys in KL and let's see if we can meet up in person whenever all this settles down.
Oh, indeed, definitely. Something we really look forward to. All right. Thank you so much, Zesh, for taking your time to talk to us. Truly appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
All right, folks. With that said, we will end this week's episode of the Bola Bola Show. Thank you for listening and goodbye.